Surviving narcissistic abuse leaves you with a set of trauma responses that are unique. These responses aren't usually seen in people who have gone through other types of trauma. By other trauma survivors, I mean those who have experienced things like poverty, a car accident, or war. The way trauma shows up in these situations is different. Unfortunately, the diagnostic criteria for post-traumatic stress in the DSM Diagnostic and Statistical Manual for Mental Disorders are different too. The typical symptoms include things like hypervigilance, anxiety, stress, hyperarousal, nightmares, and flashbacks, which you might also experience. But the DSM criteria don't cover the less common symptoms like cognitive dissonance, trauma bonding, chronic self-doubt, and others. That's why today, we're going to dive into 5 signs that you might be dealing with post-narcissistic abuse stress disorder. If that sounds interesting and you want to learn more, make sure to subscribe before we begin. 1. Trauma bonding and cognitive dissonance. These are atypical symptoms, meaning you won't see them in other trauma survivors, like war veterans or earthquake survivors. Trauma bonding happens because of the narcissist's hot and cold behavior. It's been described as a bond of incredible strength, almost like an addiction. You want to leave the narcissist, but at the same time, you feel like you can't live without them. So, you keep going back over and over. You're fed up but don't know how to break the cycle. This is a trauma symptom. Along with it comes cognitive dissonance, which is like a split inside you. One part of you knows the bad side of the narcissist, the monstrous side that scares you, but another part still thinks, maybe they're not that bad. Then you start remembering the good times, and those memories become magnified. You experience something called euphoric recall, where all the bad gets blurred, and only the good stands out. This leads to emotional confusion, and then you go back. This internal split keeps you stuck between these two experiences, the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde sides of the narcissist, leaving you constantly doubting who you're really dealing with. That's why you keep searching for answers to questions like, am I really dealing with a narcissist? What if it's just me? What if I'm the narcissist? Asterisk asterisk. 2. Struggling to trust. Another sign is that you can't trust not just others, but yourself too. The narcissist has messed with your sense of self and your intuition. They've made you feel like your decisions are always wrong. They've convinced you that your beliefs, emotions, and perception of reality are all wrong. So now, you don't know if what you're feeling is real, if what you're thinking is correct. You also can't trust others because you've been betrayed in the most painful way. Narcissistic abuse and betrayal are the worst kinds of betrayal. It's not an exaggeration because the betrayal starts from the moment you meet them, from the moment they start love bombing you. Betrayal doesn't just happen when they cheat on you or sleep with someone else. No, that's just one part of it. Betrayal happens when they lie to you, when they promise you a perfect life, all the while never intending to give you what they promised. They show you a side of themselves that doesn't exist and give you everything you want, only to take it all away. They tell you things about yourself that aren't true, just projections of their own issues. And when they finally discard you, they leave you convinced that you were the problem all along. This is a massive betrayal, and because of it, trusting others is incredibly hard for you right now. It's not just in romantic relationships either, it's in any relationship. Trusting people is one of the hardest things for you to do now, isn't it? Can you relate? Let me know in the comments. 3. Psychosomatic issues. One of the most common problems you might face is psychosomatic issues. Your body is crying out in pain, trying to tell you something is wrong. Your brain might try to convince you otherwise, but your body knows the truth. You might have gut issues, IBS, inflammatory bowel disease, or allergies you never had before. You might have skin problems like rosacea, acne, or urticaria, inflammation in various organs, or even autoimmune disorders. Your nerves are always tense, your legs might hurt, or you might feel numb all over. Eye problems are also common. I could go on with the list of things doctors say don't have a physical cause. They might tell you it's stress, but it's not just any stress. It's the stress that comes from living with a narcissist, the person who abuses you day in and day out. That's the biggest sign. If you want to know what's really going on in your life, listen to your body. It will show you a clear picture of how you're being treated and how stressful your environment. 4. Isolation. Another sign is that you isolate yourself a lot. Groups or crowds can be big triggers for you. You might even isolate yourself from people you love or want to be around. Why? Because you've been internally isolated from yourself. The narcissist has disconnected you from your own emotions, thoughts, joy, and happiness, replacing them with misery. Their voice keeps tormenting you, questioning everything you say and do, making you blame yourself. You're afraid of getting triggered because whenever you're around people, you're scared of saying something wrong and getting criticized or told you're crazy. You're afraid of other people's emotions because it's too much to handle. That's why you prefer to be alone. It might feel like depression, but it's not. It's just that you're afraid of getting triggered. You're also grieving because you don't know how to be around people anymore. You've lost that ability temporarily, but it will come back with time. Asterisk asterisk. 5. Rumination. The most significant sign is that you struggle with rumination. Rumination is when you keep thinking over and over about how things happened. You ask yourself, why did I let that happen? How could I have been so stupid? Why did they treat me that way? How could they be so bad? You keep going over these memories, trying to find closure, trying to make sense of what happened because you're still shocked and fragmented inside. Rumination shows there's a lot of trauma stuck in your body, and you've been violated in ways you can't even put into words. It's a sign of deep sadness that you're struggling with. Rumination shows that you're trying to move on, but you can't let go of the past. To truly overcome this, you need to learn how to sit with your body and feel your emotions in a controlled way, a way that you can handle. Only then can you let go of those memories and emotions so they don't haunt you in your thoughts or nightmares. Asterisk. 6. Overreacting to criticism. In a relationship with a narcissist, you're likely to have been subjected to constant criticism, often for things that weren't your fault. This can leave you hypersensitive to any kind of feedback, interpreting even the mildest critique as a personal attack. This overreaction is a defense mechanism rooted in the trauma of being constantly torn down by the narcissist. You might become defensive, anxious, or even angry when someone offers constructive criticism because it feels like a threat to your already fragile self-esteem. 7. Self-doubt and low confidence. Narcissists are masters of manipulation and often use tactics like gaslighting to make their victims question their reality and self-worth. Over time, this can erode your confidence and make you feel incapable or inadequate. Even after leaving the narcissist, these feelings of self-doubt can linger, making it difficult to believe in your abilities or trust your judgment. You might find yourself constantly seeking validation from others, yet feeling like you never measure up. Conclusion. These signs are the psychological and emotional scars left behind by narcissistic abuse. Healing from them takes time and often requires support, whether through therapy, support groups, or self-help resources. It's important to be patient with yourself and recognize that recovery is a journey. Understanding these symptoms is a crucial step in that process, as it allows you to address them and work toward healing and reclaiming your life. These were the 7 signs of post-narcissistic abuse stress disorder. Do any of these resonate with you? Do you struggle with any of them? If so, drop your thoughts in the comments below. That's it for today's episode. Thank you so much for tuning in. I'll talk to you in the next one. Until then, as always, let the healing begin and continue.